Ever wondered why the tools you know so well seem to disappear the moment you actually require them? Today, I'm going to share why the timing of your practice matters as much as the practice itself, and how training your nervous system on an ordinary day can change how you meet the hardest moments of your life. What many people call the nervous system regulation is something I understand through the lens of the brainchild. You know the technique. We've been doing it for months. You have heard the learnings, the guidance. You could probably by now explain the stop, drop, breathe, observe to somebody else without missing a beat. And yet, in the middle of the moment, the same tool set feels nowhere to be found. Have you ever experienced that? I have. So this is not a failure of a practice. This is a gap in how the practice was trained. Okay. You're going to go back to like maybe high school, elementary. Okay. On an ordinary day with nothing burning. Right. And you're even warned the day prior, usually, that there's going to be a fire drill. You learn on an ordinary day when nothing is burning, so that when smoke actually fills the hallways, your body already knows where to go. Your nervous system works the exact same way. If you only stop, drop, breathe, observe in the heat of reaction, your nervous system does not yet know what that pathway feels like. But when you practice in states of neutrality or better on an ordinary day, you are laying down the pathway in advance. So when your brainchild activates and wants to rush towards the explosive reaction, your nervous system already recognizes the way home. It's not fighting the brainchild, it's guiding it. I would love to know, has there been a moment in your life where you wished you had practiced before a fire arrived? Drop it in the comments. I read every single one of them. I lived 32 years. Think about that. 32 years without this practice in place. When my mom transitioned, died, I was 20 and I had none of this. I lived in that guilt for 32 years. And it's because I didn't know how to regulate my nervous system. I hadn't given it a pathway in how to navigate through that loss. Years later, when Aria, my dog, began her own transition, something entirely different unfolded. I recognized the early signs. And this time, I had the pathway already laid down inside me. I moved through the loss with agency instead of guilt, with honor instead of collapse. And the honor I gave myself expanded outward into a deeper love for Arya as well. So here is your micro move. Sometime this week, on an ordinary day, pause for a full breath. Hand on chest, exhale longer than your inhale. Notice what neutrality and being grounded feels like in your body. And I would actually tie this to something that you do on a regular basis, walking through doorways, picking up your phone, going to the bathroom, drinking water. Anytime you do the thing that you do naturally all day long, take a moment to breathe. The stop, drop, breathe, observe. This is how you really get to understand what that self-regulation is in your breath. And your body then understands what to do when this brainchild kicks in. So just to recap, my suggestion is, instead of waiting for the emergency to occur and bringing this into practice, I recommend that you practice the stop, drop, breathe breath to learn how to regulate your nervous system in a neutral timing, a neutral space. And then you associate it with something that you do on a regular basis. Like I said, when you pick up your phone, when you go to the bathroom, when you have a glass of water, anything that you do on a regular basis, you attach this practice of breath. The more you do it, the more your nervous system understands this pathway of breathing. Okay. And then when an emergency, whatever that might be, stubbing your toe, finger, whatever that is, and this is going to get activated, you will naturally drop into that breath. In fact, your nervous system might love that way of breathing, that you may always breathe that way and you remain here. This is practice. That's all it is. It's just practice. This is not something you can't do. You absolutely can. It's just taking the time to be hyper vigilant, hyper focused on this way of breath. And it can become your natural rhythm of breath. I hope that makes sense. And I hope this also gives you guidance in how to bring in the stop, drop, breathe practice that I've been saying over the past few months. If this resonates with you, if this makes sense, please share it with others and drop a comment down below. I'd love to hear how this series has affected your life. Thanks for watching. Be very kind to yourself. Much love.